Hello and welcome to yet another Retro Ramble with me, Ben. This week the emphasis is very much on the ramble element because it has been an interesting little adventure trying to get some footage to show you for today's video. So what I thought I'd do is I would still film today's video and I will still talk about the subject I wanted to do, but this will be a video that I will revisit at a later date when I've managed to get some footage for this subject, because it's been interesting to say the least trying to get footage for today's video. And as I said at the end of last week's, today is all about, well, in the words of Homer Simpson, edumacation. If you're of a certain age or younger, when you were at school you'll have had a computer, be it a BBC Micro, a Commodore 64, an Apple II, an Archimedes, or even an Amiga, and of course the RM Nimbus, which was very prolific in the late 80s and early 90s. Now, when I was at junior school in the 80s, I had my very first encounters with educational entertainment and educational games, and they were very good. I mean, they were a lot of fun. And one of the ones I remember very fondly was Granny's Garden on the BBC Micro. Now, this is one of the games that has presented a lot of trouble for me. What I mean is getting hold of the original BBC Micro version, because the original copyright holders still hold copyright, so it's made it a little difficult. Yes, there is a version for iOS, and once I figure out how to capture video on iOS, I will cover it. But Granny's Garden was a bit weird, because you would start the game with a grid of trees and you had to select a seemingly random tree, and you'd either get a bird who would help you on an adventure, or you'd get a witch. And we're talking about a really nasty looking stereotypical witch. Well, as nasty and evil and stereotypical as you could get on a BBC Micro. This game was released in 1983, I believe, but I didn't start junior till 84, so that's when I'd got played it. And now the same company put out another game for schools called Dragon World. Now this is one that I remember the name of. I've managed to get hold of a copy, but I can't get it to work, which is really annoying. I'm quite disappointed about that, because I really wanted to show you the game, but also I wanted to play it myself because it's one I've not played. Crikey, I don't think I've played it since I left junior school, and that would have been back in 1988. So yeah, it's been quite a while. But my junior school had a rather unique game. I think you can call it a game. And I haven't been able to get hold of this, but I have spoken to my headmaster of my old junior school, and he doesn't remember the name of this software. Now this software what it did is it allowed you to write a role-play game, and that would enable the kids to play the game. And my headmaster, I think it was my headmaster, certainly one of the other teachers was involved with this. They wrote a game for my junior school in which you were a police officer and you had to investigate a murder. One of the teachers had bumped off another one of the teachers, and it was really quite funny because it was very clever as well, because it was always random. It was never I'm going to name the teachers. It was never Mr. Walden had murdered Mr. Stevens every time. It would change. But what made me laugh, even at the tender age of 9, I think I was when I managed to play this game, what made me laugh was the fact that when you solved the murder, you were promoted to chief superintendent. And I think you started out as a constable. Because I also seem to remember that when you failed to solve the murder, you were drummed out of the Cheshire Constabulary. And if that is how the police force worked, there'd be no police in the world. Another game that was popular in schools but wasn't really educational, as in it wasn't put out for schools, was GB Limited. In this game, you took on the role of the Prime Minister, and it was your job to balance the books, influence policy, introduce policy and legislation, and the aim was to get your party elected again in the next general election because it covered a 4-year period. You would take on one of the main parties of the time, and I remember it being really hard. It's a game that I will still bop back to now as an adult and have a look. Another not strictly educational game that we played at school, mostly in senior school, I remember, was the role-playing game Twin Kingdom Valley. Now, I never really understood why teachers encouraged us to play this one. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. But I was having a go at it the other day, and it's just a bit of a fun RPG. I've not filmed it because, I don't know, I just think filming RPGs is a bit, well, text-based RPGs anyway, it's a little bit humdrum. For our American cousins and viewers, because there's bound to be a couple, the game that they will all remember from school, and I didn't realise until recently it was even played in this country, was the Oregon Trail. Now, in this game, you were leading a party of settlers west from, I can't actually remember where your start point is, but you were definitely going to, of course, Oregon in the western United States. And it was your job to make sure that your group of followers, settlers even, but call them what you will, got there in one piece. And the research I did for this game suggests that the definitive version was for the Apple II. And I had a quick go on it earlier this week, and I'll just show you a bit now. I apologise in advance, it's not very exciting. There's nothing really exciting to watch in the game, but if you want to see the full game that I played this week, it'll be available on my channel now, and you can follow the link at the end of this video. I apologise in advance, there's no sound on the video. That was because of an error recording, but to be fair, there wasn't that much sound in the video anyway, so you're not missing much. So there you have it, educational games. Sorry it's not been as exciting as normal, but as I say, I will try and get hold of these games that I've covered today, and I promise to do a video when I can get hold of some copies, either individual videos or another collective video like I did today. Next week we're going back to the Amiga, and a classic. I mean, this game was brilliant. Released on the Amiga in 1992 again, and it has been ported to the iPhone, and someone has even tried to do a version for the Commodore 64. So if you'd like to see the game footage from the Oregon Trail, follow the link below. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye bye. And don't forget, if you haven't already, press the subscribe button so you can get notifications and whatnot about our latest videos. And if you've already done that, you're not off the hook. Down there, that thumbs up thing, give it a press, give us a thumbs up, you know you want to. And also, leave a comment, start a discussion, tell us what you think, tell us if we've got anything wrong. If it's not us that's wrong, it'll be you that's wrong, but, you know, it's a free country, you can say what you want. Bye.